Hey traders from around the world, what's going on? It's me, Jeremy Alexander Newsome with RealLifeTrading.com. We're doing fantastic. We're going to look at the broad markets really quickly, but there's not too much to talk about today. They're pretty much doing what they've been doing. Nice one white soldier candle on Friday. We made a higher high and a higher low on the SPY today. Trend overall still looks bullish on the long term and intermediate. It is working on getting bullish right now. It's a little bit sideways, but great opportunities for those traders and some credit spreads down here. Nice little bounce. Things are looking up so far on the SPY. Here's the Qs. Qs, not too much happening other than a gorgeous morning star reversal pattern over these 3 days. Friday was indeed a new white soldier candle. Made a new high today into the 20. Here's the hourly chart. Again, this is the drawing that I drew on Friday. So at this point, I'll be keeping an eye out tomorrow for that to occur. Pull back, and then likely a potential buying opportunity on the Qs. Here's the IWM and the IWM. Here's the daily chart and daily chart. Nice looking trend. Again, nothing really happening on IWM, so just kind of hanging out, doing its thing, and looking like that. So yeah, it's Monday. Today's actually Mentorship Monday, in fact, for those traders in the morning and afternoon swing trading room. So I'm about to send out 3 hours of recordings for those traders who joined that, mixed with the option info they got last week. Man, just tons of enriching value. That's the mission of Real Life Trading, to enrich lives. So I appreciate each and every one of you allowing us to do that. Let's go look at some stocks. This one was requested by a good friend of Justin Linderman's. We got KYCCF, and here's the weekly chart. So again, a little bit light on the volume, but a pretty expensive stock. Keans Corporation, this is a weekly chart. So again, pretty expensive stock. The volume, not tremendously amazing. But just looking at this, you got this huge sell-off that occurred. And again, I don't know if it's going to get back down to this level, and it very well may not. But if I'm looking at taking this trade, this candle likely will get retraced. That type of movement, usually moves that happen, right? That's classic stocks take the stairs up and the elevators down, right? All this move gets wiped out in a week. So on KYCCF, I would look forward to trade back down to 350, right? Buy low, sell high, and see if you can pick up some shares down there. Otherwise, just let it keep trading sideways. Here's kind of the daily chart on KYCCF, and it looks a little bit like a double top recently. Here's a double top pattern, broke through that neckline, so keep an eye out for it to retrace, and again, probably trade lower. If you want to start considering maybe pyramiding into the trade, right? There's a you could add to your position down here. If it gets down there, you know, add a little bit of a smaller amount up here, add a little bit of a smaller amount down here, and then add to a larger position when it gets down to 350. So that's kind of my thoughts on KYCCF. Another one, CGNX. Sorry, just trying to type. CGNX, this is the daily time frame. It's at $89.50. Here's the weekly. Don't know the stock very well, but what I can say is it has been on a marathon recently. Huge bullish move. This is the weekly chart. So we are at all-time highs on CGNX, approximately. I mean, we were just there recently. So this pullback is healthy, right? So the trend is bullish. The trend is your friend. Buy the dip. Hashtag BTD. So here's the daily chart. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up the 100 simple moving average. So this is one of those situations, right, to buy low, sell high. Very nice pullback. It did pull back a little bit into the moving average. You got a very nice new white soldier just a few days ago. That was on the 5th of July. And then the very next candle actually had the exact same high. So on the 6th of July, that candle shared the exact same high, which simply means that there's a lot of people shorting at that price. So if I was going to get in bullish, my entry would have been right above the wicks of those candles, and my stop would have been right below the low right there. So that trade probably and likely could still be set up just in case something like this occurs and we bounce again. But overall, it was a nice pullback into the 100. Trend looks bullish. Interesting to see what happens from here. Got a lot of stocks. This one was also requested, Dunkin' Donuts, DNKN. And Dunkin' got this requested on my Twitter feed, at Newsome Nuggets. Here's the weekly chart, and the weekly chart on Dunkin' Donuts, yes, you did have a really nice weekly breakout of some resistance around 53. It is pulling back to a location. Who doesn't like Dunkin' Donuts, right? So the daily chart, you're pulling back into a long-term moving average. Adam kind of looking at buying low, selling high. and this really is the location for that to occur. Now, does that mean the trade's going to work? No. But what it does mean is at least you're not buying at the very, very tippy top. Potential double bottom could form, trade down to here, chops around a little bit, and then potentially bounces. And if it doesn't, right, if it doesn't break down there, you might find another place to buy Dunkin' Donuts. Right now, just looking at the trade, it looks more either long-term, like months to years, or at least months. I don't really see a super beautiful short-term edge. There's no gaps or amazing direction that's easily verifiable on the daily chart at least, but a good buy the dip into old support, new resistance does make a lot of sense. We had tons of gaps today. Here's Abercrombie and Fitch, ticker symbol ANF, my favorite clothing store. And that was a joke. Black candle gapping down. And obviously it's a retest gap. So shout outs to Robert who traded this one really nicely early this morning for an R. Here's the 5-minute time frame. And what was beautiful about this, you get to see me do this analysis this morning in Mentorship Monday. Really good support. Pre-market low right there. Came down to pre-market low, forming a gorgeous little small white candle. Entry, stop, booyakasha. Nice move on Abercrombie. So the thing is, all-time lows are approaching on ANF. Broke this 1055, really, really good support level. If you're looking at playing Abercrombie, I wouldn't be bullish on it specifically. I'd probably look for something like this and this, as it likely trades to an all-time low level, which I believe, let me see if I can pull up the monthly chart. All-time low on ANF, if and when it decides to load. Come on, ANF, let's do this. There we go. So all the way back a while ago, we got this low back in 1997. I was 10. Here's your support. So right about there, and then we're going to have a support about there. So obviously a lot of weak retail stocks out there, and I'll look at the overall ETF as well. But overall, in my opinion, Abercrombie & Fitch, with this much bullish volume coming in at this support, the fact that we're breaking below that level, looks like a hot mess to go lower. Speaking of the retail ETF, here's the XRT. XRT coming back down to the daily support that it has bounced off of before. So I will say just a few days ago, not too long at all, it did bounce off of this support for a nice little quick move. We have done a double bottom pattern on XRT before. Right there. Is it going to happen again? Not really sure. Could it? Yes. Will it? Don't know. Buy low, sell high, mitigate your risk if you're interested in playing XRT. If you're not, then let's just go look at something else. Here's Costco, ticker symbol COST, and Costco has been doing its best impression of a water slide since this gap in mid-June. And really what was interesting about Costco is this was an actual pretty good bullish gap and go on the 6th of July. When it gapped up, it did not hold, didn't keep, failed the moving averages, and just kept going lower. In fact, it gapped up right into the 10 and just failed. So ever since then, once it started filling that gap and making lower lows, we kind of knew that Costco was going to trade lower. At this particular point in time, my target on Costco, after the failure of that 100 simple moving average in such a blissful and beautiful cannonball of fire, kind of like me in chemistry, breaking of that 100 simple moving average happens oh so quickly. You're getting a gap down. My next target on Costco is the 200 simple moving average on the weekly. Now, we're not going to get there tomorrow, but definitely looking at it to trade a little bit more bearish than bullish. Very nice retest gap today. Speaking of retest, there's the market close. Here's NVIDIA. Beautiful bullish retest today on NVIDIA. Got to give a shout out to another real life trader. Check out this note. This is awesome. Brad says, thanks, Jeremy, for the NVIDIA trade. Bought weekly options and sold it for enough money to take the family to an amusement park. I love it. So this morning on NVIDIA, we were watching this as a bullish trade. Talking about this one about 30 minutes before the market opened. White candle gapping up. What type of gap is that? Retest gap. Here's the 5-minute chart. Here's the pre-market area. And you'll notice had a nice little resistance, support. There's the retest, breakout, pullback, bounce. NVIDIA slaying it. Helping some bullish traders make some money. Looking real good on NVDA to likely continue higher. You know what's not looking good today was Best Buy, ticker symbol BBY. Best Buy, ladies and gentlemen, I am certainly keeping my eyes on this gap. This is a bearish gap and go with good volume, breaking some pivots below the 50 EMA. So I'm watching this for a day or two to maybe maybe trade sideways, retest a little bit, and then potentially continue down a little bit lower. Keep your eyes on Best Buy to possibly go lower. Amazon, a few traders are making some money on Amazon. Congrats for those who know credit spreads, because it's really too expensive for me to buy call options on. 910, 905 bull put spread, been in that one since the 15th of June. YT is in a 940, 930 bull put expiring this Friday, and YT got into that spread on that day right there. Very nice. Let me pull up this hourly chart. This is classic buy low, sell high, buy at support. I mean, look at this hourly time frame. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So you'll notice you got a support resistance right here. There's the support, and really that's what you'd have drawn it off of. And we pulled right into that price just a few days ago. And then here's the resistance. That's probably where we are headed on Amazon after a little bit of a pullback. So remember, there's a lot of retest gaps going on today. Here's the daily chart. So Amazon, a bunch of white candles gapping up. Let's not be surprised if tomorrow we, retest that gap and then continue higher. But as far as the credit spreads go, they look fine. And last but not least, here's Tesla. Safe to say that's a hammer candle on the 100 simple moving average. And there are a few traders who are bullish on Tesla. I think this is a great place, time, location for it. It's not going to happen overnight. It's probably going to take itself into earnings, but longer term, it depends on how big your account is and how much you can afford and what your strategy is. But shares, put sales, or longer term calls, maybe some January 330 call options, they're out of the money. We'll see if some of these retest gaps actually fill in retest. But Tesla, at least on a weekly chart, looks like a real nice, beautiful breakout, really good resistance, nice pullback. Buy low, sell high, longer term type of trade, because again, we broke out this distribution phase. So it might not happen overnight, even though it probably could. It might take a few months, but overall, I'm very confident Tesla does go higher in the next few months and, of course, years overall. Boys and girls, thanks so much for tuning in to your Monday Real Life Stock View. I'll be back on Wednesday, and until then, remember, love life, live life, and trade it. You guys rock. Bye.